Tonight, the role of Jeremy will be played by your live journal. I still exist, you know. Why don't you visit me anymore?
On the cover, the kids take a selfie in front of a packed theater venue. The Baroness in a bomber jacket, William in normal street clothes and a hoodie pulled up, surreptitiously looking around, Piero in gaudy but elegant mime wear, and Darren looking absolutely ecstatic, covered head to toe in blossoms. The marquee behind them reads, "Tonight Only, Evergreen." Presented by the Infernus Corporation. Issue 16, all dressed up. To issue 16. So, last time, you guys had a fun day out in the park.
Indeed.
Nothing went wrong. And everyone is still in a very calm, centered, emotional state.
Oh god,
Yes.
I'm dying.
What do you say? You ended up with a pretty...
Oh no, I ended up horribly.
Oh,
You got, what, 4 conditions?
Yeah,
Marks?
4 conditions.
Yeah, 4
Oh,
conditions.
sugar pie.
Yeah, Ruby was
Muffin.
not nice to William.
No, I think the Baroness came out more or less clean.
Oh yeah.
Because she clears conditions like they're nothing.
We could all do that
I've got a heart,
too.
man.
Yeah.
You just have to ramp up that passion. No, it's fine. Don't
I'm
worry
gonna
about
go drink myself into a stupor to clear hopeless.
You legitimately
Yeah,
could,
that's
and I am okay with that. I do want to ask, because we're going to flash forward a little bit before we hit the intro proper of this issue, but I do want to kind of revisit the aftermath of fighting Ruby in Simone Park. I want to start with Piero.
Great.
Because last we saw Piero was being comforted by Darren and just bawling their eyes out.
Yeah.
Over the next few days, does Piero change like any of their routine? Do they take any kind of like precautions? What does that look like?
I think actually they probably feel a little bit of relief.
Okay.
Because this thing that has been weighing on their shoulders for so long is finally, having other people put a hand under and help pick up.
Yeah. So you've got a little more support now, or at least people know about what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So Piero probably in a slightly better state of mind then. Or at least...
A little bit of both. Like,
okay.
Of course they're guilty that their friends got hurt in an altercation that was ultimately their fault.
Sure.
But it's still nice to have definitive proof that your friends are your friends. And I think that would be very helpful to Piero.
Okay. Because yeah, they did kind of step up to try and protect you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like that. Meanwhile, I think the other person who got kind of the brunt of at least the physical assault there was Darren. So, how have the last couple of days been for Darren?
I think there's going to be a little bit of internal conflict of how her culture addresses situations like this and how humans address situations like what she was in. And I think she's in with the conflict of wanting to be a good Darren, a good hero, while also being true to her culture, which her culture is a bit more bloodthirsty. Maybe a little bit more black and white than gray area'd.
Darren's bizarre rage comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's kind of explore that a little bit. What would Darren's culture have that response have been? Would it have just been like, eviscerate everything in a 5-mile radius, or are we talking like targeted kind of...
I think it's very targeted. Her race is one that is very black and white. There's fit and there doesn't fit. And when there is a rejection of the symbiotic relationship that they have on their planet, it puts at risk all of them. Like, they don't want to have... Individuality is not viewed as an asset, it's viewed as a danger, as a threat.
The nail that sticks up gets beat down.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And while there is, like, it's very nurturing, it's all about growth and development and becoming the most perfected self you can be. It has to be a certain direction. You don't grow up. You don't grow down. You don't go sideways. We grow up. We're plants. And if you don't fit, you don't belong. And there is an aggressive and vicious and quick correction.
Okay.
And I think that's where she comes from, and I think that's something she's been dealing with conflict-wise of, Earth isn't like that. Earth is about second chances, third chances, fourth chances. It's about forgiveness. It's about having punishments fit crimes rather than crimes being eliminated.
Gotcha.
I think that's something she's coming to internal struggle for herself, because this was her first time where she had to deal with that conflict. Very, very, which is why she's had these, like, conflicts in the past of, like, she goes from, like, 0 to 100 of, like, all right, that's not working. Let's try the old method.
Let's drop a building on overclock.
Yeah, exactly. Let's, like, use a beam and, like, just kill a ninja. Like problem solved. Right? Weeds gone. Like, you're welcome, Earth.
Solved. So Darren is probably feeling a little bit conflicted at this point.
Yeah.
Let's, I guess, then move over to the Baroness.
Okay.
Funny enough. So most of your interaction in that fight was, talking Darren down out of this, like, berserker rage, and then knocking Ruby through a statue.
Yes.
Which kind of ended that fight.
Yeah.
I think the aftermath for the Baroness, weirdly enough, would probably be more about that particular interaction with seeing Darren go kind of berserk.
Yeah, probably.
For lack of a better word. So how have the last few days been for the Baroness, then?
Things have been fairly calm for the Baroness. I'm not sure if I've seen much of Darren recently. Normally, I don't see Darren as that kind of a big, crazy threat, and it was kind of interesting.
Okay. So just
I'm still processing it.
Just taking a little bit of space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because normally that's how I see myself.
Okay. So more like just kind of on your own, or are you hanging out with different groups of people? Street tagging. What you been up to?
There was definitely some street tagging going on. That's how Baroness clears her mind.
Okay.
I think I must have hung out with Static Jock at some point.
On purpose?
Perhaps not on purpose, but he just happened to be in the same area, and I didn't tell him to go away. Yes.
Oh. I think the way that works out is, like, maybe you were, like, street tagging and Static Jock came upon you and, like, looked out, like...
Yeah.
Kept an eye out.
Yeah, kept an eye out to make sure nobody stumbled across you.
Did you return his picnic basket and blanket? Because he provided our meal that day.
Those were probably destroyed because Darren's berserker rage, again, remember, like, the grass was sharp.
That's right.
High-density insects swarming all over the place.
Oh no, I ripped his blanket.
I
still returned them to him.
Just, like, in tatters.
And then he was really sad because his grandmother knitted that blanket.
No, Static Shock!
Moving on. William, again, we're not going to go directly over this, but it has been a while since you've seen Debbie Diabolus.
Has.
Because right after you parted after dinner and she kind of took the one void chime and you had made arrangements to meet up.
You stood her up.
That's when you went AWOL, and things have been a little bit crazy since then. She has since somehow managed to get in communication with you. So I want to try and figure out how this happened. And
Something magical?
Could be, because she does have magic. So she might have just, like, sent you a magical message somehow. So I think in that case, what a magical message from Debbie Diabolus looks like is probably a bird skeleton.
Wow.
That speaks in human tongue.
Ooh. With a human tongue inside its beak?
You know what? Yes.
I just picture this tongue that's way too big.
It's way too big.
Yeah, it just flops out.
You have, like, this, like, raven, and then, like, it opens its mouth and, like, just, like, this
beautiful.
tongue flops out.
That's beautiful.
Marry her. This is the perfect woman.
And via that, she basically says that she would like to talk with you, maybe, exchange some chimes like you had suggested way back when.
We're just exchanging chimes. Yeah, that's just a casual thing.
Just a casual thing that people
Apocalyptic devices.
And
just,
whatever.
Yeah. It's like like prom rings. So she asks if they're...
Is that short for promise rings, or do you mean like a ring that you give someone at prom?
Yeah, you
Yes.
know, like your
both.
You school ring, because you get those like great big
your class
your
ring.
class ring, and you like
I've
exchange them for
never
prom.
heard
So
it
you
referred-
like
Really? I never had heard of that ever.
Yeah. So the tradition
that's
is
We're bad high schoolers, apparently.
yeah, we were homeschooled.
Man went to anime school.
Yeah, this
You
is
were
the truth.
homeschooled.
But the girl will often wear like the boys' ring because they're often too
Right.
thick on a
necklace.
chain, on a
That's
necklace.
cute.
And then the guy, I guess, wears the girls on the pinky, I think, or something like that. It's something along those lines. Huh. So
that's wild.
Like prom rings is
that's wild.
exchanging.
I grew up too poor to have a school ring, so anyway.
Humans confuse me.
Right? So the kind of question is there a safe place that you would want to meet Debbie? Or are you just going to kind of blow her off at this point?
No, I am very interested in those void chimes and collecting more of them. Yeah, so we should totally meet up. So, we're going to meet up at the food court in the abandoned mall.
Okay, abandoned mall court, food court.
Romantic.
God, that was a horrible sentence. Abandoned mall food court.
There you go.
Are you bringing anyone else, or is this just William and Debbie?
I would assume it's just me.
You show up at the abandoned mall food court. First off, I assume you have gotten yourself a new look by this point, and you are no longer in normal people t-shirt and cowboy hat, because you did steal Hex's cowboy hat.
I might still be wearing that.
Keep the hat. Keep the cowboy hat.
Keep the cowboy hat? Alright.
And the
might be part of the new look.
And the jorts, yes.
All your clothes are going to be trophies from enemies.
No, I'm sure I managed to get at least something vaguely resembling a suit, if not nearly as nice as what I'm used to.
Okay, sort of like secondhand kind of.
Hot topic suit.
So you show up. This is probably kind of middle of the night. Debbie's already there. She's got a couple of candles lit. She's got a little picnic basket. She's got a couple of glasses of sparkling orange juice.
What?
Sparkling orange juice, you heard me.
That's something.
Is it?
It is now.
I'm
I feel personally attacked here. I think sparkling orange juice sounds delicious.
It does.
It does sound delicious. Yeah,
This is your fantasy world, but okay.
You know what? Sparkling orange juice is the new hot drink with the kids. Capri Sun sparkling orange juice. Point is, she's got a little meal set out by candlelight.
Wow.
Oh, good.
She is there, and funny enough, she is wearing, kind of similar to you, a suit.
I'm into it.
One of them is going to have to change.
Yeah.
Hers is white, trimmed in black, with like a big feather kind of in the lapel.
All right.
She's dressed to impress.
Did you get that feather off the bird skeleton?
She nods at you.
Oh,
Wow.
good. Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's how you keep it bound to yourself. So, I guess we should talk.
That would probably be a good idea.
First question, what the hell?
Things moved very quickly, all of a sudden.
Yeah, I had just left you that evening to, like, I don't know, go meet your friends, and suddenly you're betraying all of your dad's allies, and he has really uncomfortable questions for me.
Now imagine.
Yeah, as far as I know, I have no idea what's going on with you, and honestly, that's not too much of a stretch.
Yeah, it might be best to keep it that way at this point. Stay pretty minimal on that. I don't feel like I should be telling you much, just because my dad can be very persuasive.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So how'd that whole thing go, considering I told him that you took the void chime?
Well, I had to give one back to him.
Makes sense.
And he's got me under pretty tight surveillance. I just kind of managed to slip out tonight.
Okay.
But I don't know how often I'll be able to do that.
So you still have one in a safe place?
Yes.
Okay. And that leaves Dad with
Two.
two.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has two, you have one, I have one. And as far as I know, there's one still up for grabsies, which is actually why I asked you here tonight.
You have a clue where it is?
I do. And she kind of heads over to the basket and takes out a couple of envelopes. She hands over to you. I like to take walks, and sometimes, what with being a psychic and all, you pick things up. So, remember way back when Bulletproof robbed a Phoenix building?
I vaguely recall the incident.
And then your dad's associates tried to kill him
Yup.
because you stopped him from stealing something?
Yeah.
I think I know what you stopped him from stealing.
Okay. So it was in that vault?
That's what I think.
What happened to that vault after?
Well, that's a good question. I don't really know. But the vault belonged to Phoenix. And you, and she points at your watch, have more connections there than I do.
That is true.
And aside from that, is this just a... is there anything else that you want to press Debbie for, first off?
Do you think, or How much do you think Dad suspects that you have? Does he know that you have another chime?
She kind of fidgets with, her suit a little bit. Well, I certainly hope not, because if he does, I'm in a lot of trouble.
You're in a lot of trouble regardless.
Yeah, I usually am. This is somewhat more than.
So the question is, do you feel safe enough keeping that, or do you want to tell me where it is so I can retrieve it and you don't know where it is?
Are you trying to get her to agree to doing that, or are you just asking her?
I'm just going to ask her.
Okay. I think it's safe where it is right now, and I don't want to concentrate too many of them in any one place in case anything happens to either of us.
I suppose that's fair. Okay. I guess I will look more into Phoenix and see if I can figure out if they have a void chime and where I can hide it, since Dad apparently knows where that one is.
At that point, I think dinner, small talk. Are you actually going to hang out with Debbie? Or are you
Sure.
Okay.
I owe her that much. She can tell me all of the school gossip.
Yeah. Apparently there has been a lot of talk going around since you left, and she tells you that your dad, at this point, made an announcement that he's offering a reward for you. Several kids have already tried to claim this. Apparently someone saw you in Simone Park a few days ago.
Ridiculous. I would never be somewhere that public.
Definitely not in jorts.
And yeah, that's how the rest of that evening goes. So let's move on at that point. A couple of days down the line, way back when everyone went to the museum and Darren had a Taco Bell meeting with Todd Roman.
Yes.
Todd mentioned that he and his bro-cycles were going to be working stage for Evergreen, who is a plant-based musician. He's kind of like if David Bowie was a plant person. Roman mentioned that he had wanted to pass along some tickets to Piero, and what with you being the closest thing to Piero, we are closing on the date of said concert, and Darren has 4 tickets.
4 tickets.
These are, in fact, backstage passes.
Wow.
So the question here is, as we are getting closer to this, I assume Darren is probably wanting to go to this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Darren going to use these tickets for their intended purpose, which is to get at least Piero to this concert?
Yeah. Yes.
And if so, where are those other 2 tickets? Are you going to invite your other teammates, or are you going to bring someone else?
Well, I wasn't really invited. I was told to give the tickets to Piero,
That's
correct?
true. That's
so
true.
I think that would have been my thing. But my plan in my mind is, can I please come?
Of course.
So I'm going to leave the other tickets to choose. I am just I am over the moon. So I'm going to give you the tickets. And give you all 4, but then
Get one handed back immediately.
and then I have a daisy flower on my pointer finger. Can I have one?
In exchange.
Yeah, give one to Piero. Piero, may I please
course.
have a ticket?
Of course.
Piero's the best.
Okay, so again, I guess then this question is directed to Piero.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing with those other 2 tickets?
I think that seeing how excited Darren is,
Mm-hmm.
I would want to invite the Baroness and also extend the invite to William because we are a team. And I think that Darren would really appreciate having everyone at the concert.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. In turn, are both of you taking these tickets? Are you going to go to this concert?
I think I will go.
Okay.
Just to see what it's like.
Sure. And how about William?
William is going to need a better disguise.
We could have a William disguise montage.
I love this.
Yes.
That's fine. As far as disguises go,
Yes.
would it be possible for William to go talk to Horus and see if there's some sort of more effective magical disguise
I was gonna
that
say
I can
magical
come up with
clothing.
rather
Okay.
than this terrible boat hat?
Yeah, no, I like that.
repetition.
I like that. Okay,
I like the
so
cowboy hat.
Yeah.
What's
same.
wrong?
I'm still wearing the cowboy hat. That's fine.
I like
but
the jorts.
So I guess at this point, it is worth noting how you get in contact with Horus. So obviously Horus is not letting you live with her, but she is willing to kind of teach you a few things. Horus's sanctuary, her domain, is not in one physical location. So when Tony Rex took you there, he kind of wandered aimlessly for a while, occasionally looking at landmarks. And that's actually how you find Horus. You have to look for 3 specific landmarks. You have to find the moon in the day sky, you have to find a bird of prey, and you have to find the sun behind a reflection. And these can be very, very subjective.
In that order?
Just all 3 of those things.
Okay.
And when you
in
find
one location, or just you wander until you see
just
one,
wander until
wander
you,
again,
yeah,
wander again.
Exactly.
and-
Yep, you wander until you find each of those.
So you can only see her during the daytime?
Not necessarily.
It could take you a while to find
Not
the sun behind
necessarily.
a
So
reflection.
if I see a painting,
Yeah, because if you're walking down the street in the middle of the night and you see, a TV monitor and it's showing the day sky and you see the moon, or you see someone named Moon,
Ah.
it can be very, very, esoteric.
Okay.
So you just have to find those 3 things, and when you find the third one, the next door you see is Horus. So it takes you a while to find her.
fair enough. Just to clarify the previous point, I will
Yes.
go ahead and accept said ticket and say I will attend, but it is a goal to find a better method of disguise.
You're removing all the fun out of dressing you.
There's only so much humiliation that William can take.
It's okay, we'll do a dress-up montage for someone else. Alright, you come across Horus' sanctuary, and again, is this a thing where William is taking anyone with him, or is he just kind of going all on his own?
I mean, if Piero wants to come along while we're finding Horus again, that's fine.
I would really enjoy the chance to bother Horus again.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't take Piero.
And you two are...
Oh well, here we are.
And you two are living together at this point.
Yeah,
So
can't stop me.
the door you come to after the third sign is to a jeweler's shop, which appears to be closed for renovations at this point. You notice that it's always a door that doesn't have anyone behind it. You knock, there's a little bit of a wait, there's a couple of crashes, there's what sounds like a little bit of an explosion. The door opens, Horus's hair is lightly on fire. She kind of pats it out and looks very disgruntled at you. This is really bad timing, guys.
Okay. What's going on there?
Let's not talk about that. What do you need?
I mean, nothing super important. I'm just basically a wanted man in this city and was hoping you could give me some clues for how to disguise myself a little better than...
Have you tried a
large
fake
hats.
mustache and glasses?
That's what I'm kind of trying to avoid at this point.
Right. Most superheroes who don't want people to know who they are wear a mask.
To be fair, walking around the city masked is probably not as suspicious as it might be in some other cities. But that said, I feel like I still might draw more attention to myself than I would like.
Right. And she looks over at Piero. Why did you bring Kersey McKersherton? Right, come on in. And she opens the door, and you can see the sanctuary is in kind of a rougher state than you're used to seeing it. What little furniture there is kind of overturned or in splinters. The big pile of gold with the artifacts sticking out of it is slightly smaller. There is a fire in the fireplace. There didn't used to be a fireplace, I don't think. If not, either way, there's one now. Do you want people to not know you're there, or do you want to look like someone else?
The latter.
The latter. Right. Who do you want to look like?
I suppose if it has to be specific, then I'd pick a random person off the street to be most effective.
Cool. And she goes over to the big pile and starts kind of rummaging around in it. She comes back with a coin. She looks at it. All right. Here's the deal. Nothing for free.
Fair enough.
Find a random person on the street, give them this coin, and you're going to steal their appearance. Now, fair warning, they're going to steal yours. So whatever trouble you have based on what you look like, and she hands the coin over to you, is theirs now.
Interesting. All right.
Here's what you're going to owe me for this. You might have remembered that I have a demon trapped in a roll of film, and Tony still owes me use of his drive-in projector.
So I need to go get the projector from Tony?
Oh no, we're doing this at the theater. This thing's big.
Well, I do have experience with demons.
I'm going to call on you in a little bit, and I'm going to need a couple people.
Do you want people that are effective, or will my general team do?
I've only met one member of your general team.
I would like to go
One
on
of them's a
record saying
giant
that's
bear.
offensive. I'm offended. Piero is offended.
Does that shift your labels?
That
Piero?
hurts my feelings.
I think actually if that works, that's
I
probably
agree.
going to shift
That
your
was
labels.
hurtful.
Yeah,
and
no.
I'm not even there.
No, that's...
I'm the
because-
least effective of the team.
Well, because
so...
here's the thing. Does William have influence over you?
Yes.
Okay, so William just said that you're probably not an effective team member.
That hurts. I'm hurt.
How does that shift Piero's labels? I think
Single
rude
tier.
remarks.
I think
Fair enough.
mundane up, probably.
And superior down.
Either superior or, danger, I'd say. What would you think, William?
Based on the statement, You would definitely imply danger down, I would think.
Okay. So mundane up, danger down. Are you going to accept that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, it was danger down and mundane up.
Yes, danger down, mundane up. And at that point, Horus sits down. I'm going to need a minute. Are the two of you done here?
I suppose I got what I came here for.
I would like to do one small little dance, just for
I
funsies.
think we're both done here.
Yeah, I think you're both done here.
How will you contact me for that favor?
You'll know.
Fair enough.
And the door just opens all on its own.
Okay.
Wait, you never answered who she wants. Does she want?
She didn't answer.
Oh.
I'll bring a giant bear.
So...
And the plant alien person, too.
Can I smack his head? Can I, just smack
Aliens
him on
and
the head while
robots
we
versus
That's
leave?
fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Piero. Share your feelings.
I think that's fair.
Wait,
Also, I'm clearing angry for that.
No, that's legit.
If I'm
Yeah.
shifting a label,
You
I'm
did.
totally
You did. I
clearing
think
angry.
you hurt Piero's feelings. I think
think
that
you
works.
did.
I totally did.
it did hurt.
It did hurt a
really
little bit.
did. I'm one single tear.
Mime tear.
Mime tear
Yeah,
or like
We get home.
Teardrop.
I rush into the bathroom. I bust out the eyeliner and I draw one single tear, and then I just follow William around for the rest of the day.
So goth.
I feel better
Yes.
having done that since I got something
Oh.
out of it.
Badass. I like it.
I love it. Is there anything anyone needs to do before this concert? Yes.
I want to bloom into flowers to prepare myself.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to ask what everyone's wearing.
Yes!
Okay. I know William had to find a random person. So, or at least you have this coin. You have the
I
option.
do have the coin.
You have an
Do I
option.
help you with that?
That's such an interesting item.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea. Piero could help.
Because it is
Piero
kind
could take your appearance.
It is kind
You could
of a
swap
dick move.
appearances.
You could switch appearances.
Would we?
Appearances.
Would we have our same we would have our same powers?
Yeah,
It's just
you just
we
look
look
different.
different.
You just look different.
Okay, question. Is this coin... if I give the coin away to a random stranger,
Uh-huh.
who then takes my appearance,
Uh-huh.
is this a one-time magic item?
That is a great question. She didn't say.
She did not say.
How long does it last?
Also a great question. She
say.
didn't say. Do you want to maybe try and figure that out?
Wait,
That would-
Can I ask my sanctuary?
Yeah. You can try and use your sanctuary because your sanctuary isn't visor.
Yeah. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Because there's a couple of ways we could do this.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
so
don't
first,
exactly have an identify spell.
so you're going to go straight to the sanctuary then.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
I mean, that's...
So you're using your sanctuary. What all do you want to know about this coin before we figure out what it's going to cost you?
That's up to you. Like, that's a question that you need to
I
answer.
would like to know some of the answers to the questions that I just asked.
Okay, so like, how is it permanent? How long does it last?
Yeah, is it
any-
multi-use?
Wait, hang on. Let me
Like,
write
Okay.
this down.
Can we use it multiple times? Do we just like pass the coin back and forth? Because
Single use.
that would be sweet as a team item.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. I think first you're going to have to promise to bring your mask to the concert. Something you might not have thought about before.
I mean,
But
Piero is someone who carries all of their items on
Yes.
them, so
yes.
that's not really all that deep.
I think since both you and William are involved here, saying that you'll need help from someone, you already getting that. And the best you can do is going to be kind of a lesser unreliable version of this. You can ask one question.
Okay, which one's more important?
So, unless you want to Burning Bright that.
Nope, no way. Not Burning Bright. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. I guess this is kind of the same question. Is it permanent or is it single use? That's the main thing that you want to know. What is the general parameters of this?
Well, basically what I'm saying is, how long does it last and how many times can I use it might be... Those are two different questions.
I think asking if it's permanent is a pretty good compromise for both of those. That's kind of asking.
I feel like we're going to get both pieces of information here regardless.
Well, yeah.
I
But
mean,
you gotta pick one.
I'm all about like
Because
trying to
Piero's not going to mark that doom
trying to,
track.
like-
No way, I'm not marking the Doom track, buddy.
I'm all about trying to trick the DM into giving me more information, but I don't feel like that's going to happen here, regardless of how tricky I try and be. So,
So which of those questions do you want to ask?
I'm more concerned with knowing if it can be used more than once.
So the answer you'll get there is that it can, but...
Wait, do the Clarence voice.
I'm
Do the
sorry.
mask voice. Thank you.
Okay,
His name is not Clarence, it's something else.
that's fine. Let's then do this right here on the page. I think this is probably the first time you've seen the Sanctuary in action.
No, he saw the
That's true.
healing equipment.
That's true. You did see it used as healing, but you just saw Piero put it on a swarm of bees and it absorbed the energy. At this point, it floats in the middle of the room. The light...
Wait, can I suggest something?
Yeah, go for it.
I think it would be really fun if it came out of Piero's mouth. I think that would be really, really cool.
If it, like, speaks through you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I agree, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. So, I think at that point, then it kind of floats in front of your face a little bit.
And there's like a different font for the text.
Yeah. You ask if you can use it multiple times. There's a little bit of a pause. Piero reaches out, and there's this kind of, like, blue after image around their hand as they touch this coin. Nothing happens because they're not quite touching it. It's like the afterglow is holding the coin. And you hear, "It can be used multiple times, but you will have to pay it something each time.
So many prices in magic.
Nothing for free." And then the mask falls to the ground.
And catch it.
Okay, yeah, you catch it.
Alright, fair enough.
So you still don't know how long it's going to last, but you know that you can use it multiple times. You'll just have to pay something each time. So that leads us back to then to that question of what everyone is wearing to this concert. And we'll get to William last, because I think I want to give you a little bit of time to think about this. This is being held in the Taylor Stadium. It is usually used for arena hockey matches. So it's kind of an indoor venue, but it does have a dome roof that can open. You guys are arriving probably a little bit early, since you've got some backstage passes. So let's start with the Baroness here.
Yeah.
What is the Baroness wearing to this concert?
I don't know concert etiquette, so I feel like I'm just wearing my my normal little leather bear jacket.
Okay. Now, we know you have multiple jackets.
This is true.
So which jacket is this? Is this like punk jacket with spikes, or is this like bomber jacket?
The Bearoness definitely has both of those jackets.
Yes. And probably more. I mean...
Probably. I feel like I would not wear the punk jacket. That's associated with my past a little bit too much.
Sure.
I feel like it's closer to the bomber jacket.
Does it have like a patch or a label or anything on it?
Ooh.
I just want to get a good visual.
Yeah. I think it does have like a patch on the shoulder of like something really, really random. Maybe just like a banana.
Okay. No, I like it. Banana jacket.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Let's move on then to Piero.
Oh, I'm so ready.
Okay. What is Piero wearing to this concert?
So I'm thinking like French mime.
Okay.
So it's like a puffy shirt with like some sort of like leotard under it.
Okay.
And like some ruffles.
I like it.
And again, full mime face with
Obviously.
single tear. Because that hurt never goes away.
Okay.
I just want to hug you.
That's a good look. I like that.
Thank you.
Darren.
Yes.
What is Darren wearing?
All right, Darren. Darren is wearing a not very much of anything. I think it would just be an eruption of flowers.
Okay.
Like a true like fountain of flowers. Like all like vines like coming off her elbow and like off of her waist and off her shoulders and everything. And I think I would try to like do what I see in like movies where they have like punk outfits and the flowers in the shape of a mohawk on top of my head.
Nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
What color?
Oh, everything. Like it's
Okay.
yeah, it's like
explosion of
fuchsia and purple and
Perfect.
yellow.
So
and
like
warmish
colors.
yeah, and they're all like there's tons of pollen like puffing off because I'm like so excited.
Some of the stage hands are having horrible
allergies.
It's a bad day.
Yeah.
All right, let's get over to William. Did you find some poor schlub to change identities with?
I am hesitant to give the coin away to someone random, knowing that I can potentially use this more than once. Seems too valuable to just pawn off on someone.
Sure.
So, before the concert, I'm going to scout out said stadium.
Okay.
And find a back closet or something to that effect and familiarize myself with it.
Okay.
That way I can teleport in and get backstage without... I have my ticket still, I have proof, but without showing my face in a lot of the crowd or on the street too much.
Okay. I think that's easy enough to do for you. I'm not going to make you roll for that. Back to the what are you wearing question, though.
Trashy goth cowboy. Trashy goth cowboy.
Cowboy hat probably isn't going to stand out too much. We're going to go with... We're just going to keep this simple. Probably just jeans and a hoodie with the hood up. No,
I think that's a good low impact sort of look there.
Yeah.
And easy enough to come
He's getting
across.
slightly better at figuring out what commoners wear.
Yeah. Like we've passed your chrysalis moment where you just have no idea how clothes work.
So you really got dressed up for that Debbie Diapolis date, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dressed to impress.
Wow.
So you're all backstage, and you're kind of milling around with a couple of other people. And I want to give you a couple of those people. When you come in, you can tell that there is something going on. There are a lot of city officials. There are a lot more guards than you would expect to be here. Again, this is kind of an international rock star, so you would expect some form of security, but this is probably a little much even for that. And you notice that a lot of them are wearing, like, Apex City Police Department uniforms. Is anyone going to try and look into that a little bit, or are you just going to kind of go with it?
I think I am going to look into it.
Okay.
I know enough about how police work to find this a little suspicious.
That's true.
I would not be looking into this. I would be extremely distracted and very single-minded.
There are posters everywhere, by the way, for Evergreen, and this is his new album tour.
What is his album's name?
Floriform.
Yes! Yes!
So, what are you doing, the Baroness? How specifically are you going to go about this? Are you just going to ask people, or...?
The Baroness is fairly direct,
yeah.
I believe. She's going to walk up to the most official-looking person she can find and just ask flat out, hey, there seems like there's a lot of cops here. Why?
Okay. There is a young South Asian lady in a very severe kind of white pencil skirt, suit top kind of combo. Mm-hmm. And she's got a clipboard.
Obviously. And
seems to be very intent on directing traffic. So when you roll up and ask what's going on, she asks to see your badge, even though you're probably the only cyber bear here.
I show her my Kopi badge. Yeah. Oh, I have a VIP ticket.
Yeah,
that's true.
You got a backstage ticket here.
Okay, I'll show her that.
Okay, and she says that the waiting room is down that hall on your left, and she kind of like tries to wave you off a little bit to clear traffic because you're big. You're in the middle of the way.
Yes, I am. I kind of like cock my head like. That wasn't the question I was asking.
Okay.
Yeah, but why are there so many police here?
Gotcha. Okay, I think at this point I'm gonna have you roll to provoke someone.
Okay, that's fine. That's a 7.
Nice.
Plus 0.
Okay.
Nice.
Plus I have no powers that affect provoke.
You have no conditions that would affect that, right?
Oh, I probably do. Guilty. So that makes
okay,
it
so
a
that's
failure.
a 5. All right. She takes a breath, kind of composes herself. There is someone very important here that we are trying to keep safe. You blocking traffic does not help in that regard. Now, if you don't mind, the waiting room is that way. Someone will be with you shortly.
Okay, I fully understand that she's condescending to me.
Yes, she absolutely is.
Is that shifting labels?
You know what? Yes, you're right.
That's true. She is an adult.
That out.
Yes.
She is shifting your label. She's moving your superior down, and I think your
Danger up,
I think danger up because you are probably actively endangering someone.
Yeah, I am going to reject that influence hardcore.
Okay, go ahead and reject that influence.
Any modifiers on that one?
That is just a straight up roll. Unless you have insecure. Yeah, there's insecure if you have that.
Yes, I do, but
okay.
I failed horribly anyways.
Right?
Nice.
It hits me hard.
It does.
I've never successfully rejected influence.
So you are going to
mark potential on that.
Yes, you do. You are going to
twice in a row.
You are going to mark a condition.
Okay.
Because that's how that happens.
Yes.
And then I will shift your labels, and I think it's still superior down, but probably mundane up in this case.
Superior down, mundane up.
Yeah.
And that will make me hopeless.
Okay. So many conditions.
Yep, I got a lot of conditions.
All right. Meanwhile, while the Baroness is out here kind of harassing an aide, are the rest of you just in kind of your waiting room waiting for things to happen? Or are you doing anything in particular?
I think I'd be in the waiting room and like my hands and my tendrils are like so excited they're coming in sap and it's like starting to stick to things.
It's like the sweaty palms.
Yeah, like sweaty palms only in sap.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're sticky.
I think I'm trying to unstick Darren from things.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's like there's a poster of Evergreen and Darren has like lightly touched it and now you're like trying to like tear her hand off the
There's like beads of sap like all down my forehead and I'm just like so excited.
I'm like, hold it together, girl.
I like it. And how about William?
William is following at a safe distance and watching this entire scene going, okay.
Okay.
She is very excited about this.
So the room you find yourself in is relatively large. There's big kind of like wraparound couches around 2 of the corners. There's a little table with, like drinks and snacks and that kind of stuff.
I'd definitely take as many snacks.
Shoving them into your hoodie.
At this point.
So you've got like pockets full of Ritz crackers and Oreos.
Well,
probably some Capri Sun fruit pouches.
Gummy bears, but no green gummy bears.
None of those
Gummy
peanut butter
bears.
cracker things.
Yeah, none of those.
Like
No.
those.
The Cheez-Its though, the cheese crackers.
Yeah, okay,
Those
we
are
can do
fine.
that.
Yeah.
Young white guy with a buzz cut, dyed pink.
Nice.
You're
Enter-
distracting me for a second.
Enters your room. He's got a stage badge on, just like big prominent badge that says stage. And he looks over, as all brocycles sound like this. Oh, and he like points at Piero. You made it! Todd's gonna be just jazzed! And he looks over at Piero.
Wait, what was the word he used?
Jazzed!
Oh, I heard Chaz.
I also
Definitely
heard
Chaz.
Chaz.
Yeah.
I heard jazzed.
Todd Roman's gonna be jazzed! No, that's what he said. That was what he said now.
Yes.
So here's how it works. We got you guys wing seats, so you're going to have kind of like a right on stage experience. You're just going to be off to the side. There is a little bit of a thing happening before this. Apparently, there's a new children's wing being added onto the hospital. Mayor Dow is here. Speaking of which, Mayor of Apex City. Brief pause.
Yeah.
Her name is Lynn Dow. She's about a 50-year-old Vietnamese woman, and she is pretty well liked. She's very progressive, but she does have some detractors who say that she's kind of in the corporate pocket. And she's going to be introducing a speaker to kind of intro this. I think his name is Eric. Eric Infernus.
There it is.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to kind of be off in the side while that happens. We'll get everyone in the same motor pool. So if you want to get the mayor's autograph, now's a great time. Is there anything else that I can do for you? Do you guys need any like specific drinks or anything like that?
I would like water.
And you can have that poster. Those are just you can have that one. That's fine.
good because I can't get it off.
And then after the show, we're going to have a little meet and greet with Evergreen and some of the band members. If you have anything you want them to sign, like that poster, that's cool. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes to get you guys, and just stay frosty. And he takes himself back out of the room.
Are we alone?
You are alone now.
Switch with me.
It's tempting.
I can't talk.
Yeah,
Are you
but-
talking? You're talking right now, though.
Well, no. Well, I'm talking as a character to. No, not as a character, as a player. I'm talking as a player to.
So what is
my other
Kira
player.
doing in character?
Waving their arms around and miming flipping a coin.
Okay.
Your father literally cannot get any information out of me. Like, I cannot speak.
That is
I mean,
true.
you can.
I can, but I can easily act like I can't.
We will stay close to me. If
Okay.
necessary, I can slip you the coin and we can swap real quick.
Okay, so the Baroness at this point heads back into the room.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Or I can
assuming,
swap with the Baroness,
unless you
which would be
were.
way funnier.
So, yeah, I just head back into the room.
Okay.
Although I don't know what I look like right now.
You look like a bear in a bomber jacket.
Yeah, I switched forms.
Oh,
though.
right. I'm sorry. We haven't described that yet.
Yeah, so I don't know what I look like.
Okay. So, towards the end of last session, you switched out of Puma and into Eagle.
Yes.
What this looks like. So, those claws that you had in Puma mode have retracted.
Uh-huh.
You are still, you're not rhino big anymore.
Right.
You haven't changed size at this point.
Okay.
But all of your cybernetic parts have become leafed, as if they're feathers.
Okay.
Ooh.
So it's just kind of segmented into little leaves. You're much more acrobatic in this particular
Okay.
form. And your cyber eye is way more acute. You can see
Okay.
things that you could not.
Is it bigger?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's grown a little bit.
Okay.
More importantly, you have a connection to something that you didn't before. When you
Uh-huh.
switched into Eagle mode, you had a little pop-up with the Armiger logo that said connecting, and you are now connected to their satellite database.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Now, this is a one-way connection, so it feeds you information.
Right.
Whether or not you want to try and do anything else with that is up to you. But
Okay.
that's what you look like at this point.
I just wanted to clear that out in my head so
Sorry.
I don't make sure I don't have like wings or anything.
No,
crazy.
you don't have wings.
Okay, that's good. I'm pretty well put down by that random lady, and I'm walking back kind of dejected.
Okay. So the Baroness, looking a little bit dejected, heads back into your room. You've got about 5 minutes before the stagehand comes back to get you. What
I'm
do
going
you
to
do?
take a moment to explain what this coin does to everyone, in case I need to randomly pass it to one of the others.
Okay.
Can I use this instance to been reading the files on this new supernatural phenomenon that I have just encountered
Sure.
to see if Armiger has any information?
Yeah,
on
go
it?
for it.
Nice. We're
I
just
would
pulling
like
out
to
all the
try
stops.
this.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Low chance of it working, but you never know. Okay,
Nice.
that's a 9.
Nice. And that puts you at, what, 4 on your Armiger track?
Yes.
Nice. So that's a 9?
Well, it's a 9 minus 3,
That's a 6.
It's a 6.
It's a 6.
Is that a success?
6 is a fail.
Okay, 6 is a fail.
But
okay.
we started a new session.
That's
which
true.
means
You
we
have
one
one
team in the pool.
team in the pool.
That's true.
So I think if William wants to use that team, because he did just tell you what the coin does.
That's true.
That could... Do you want to use that team for that?
All the information about it. If I'm going to use this thing, I want to know more about it.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So that's that team out of the pool.
So
And-
that doesn't count as a failure, correct?
Yes, that is a success now.
Good.
All right, so go ahead and read out Ben reading the files.
All right. When you first encounter an important superpowered phenomenon, my call, mark Armiger and roll plus superior. On a hit, tell the team one important detail that you've learned from your studies. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember. On a 10 plus, I can ask a follow-up question, and the GM must answer it honestly.
Yep. So basically, you're going to tell me one thing about this coin, and then I'll tell you if anything is different.
What did the mask say? It said that we can use it.
You can use it multiple times, but you have to
times.
pay a
There's a
price.
cost.
Yes.
Right. So I was thinking I might say what the cost is.
Yeah, go for it.
Mitigate that for us a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. It could be different from what I remember, though.
It could be.
It
But
could
it's always going to be in that same vein. I'll let you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Just allows you to control the narrative. That is interesting.
Yeah,
It
it's
lets
pretty
you
cool.
add things in. It's a good move.
So what would be a really interesting price for that coin? Something not too bad.
What if it was like you keep your height like the same height as the original person?
That's a requirement,
That's,
not a price.
yeah.
to give
that's
out.
a
But yeah.
limitation. Yeah. I mean, and again, you could do that too. You could
Yeah, I
You
could
can-
Rather
you can
not
say-
set limitations on
yeah.
it.
you can
Point.
say whatever you want about this coin right now, and I'll tell you.
Right.
My thought was something along the lines of after you switch back from the person, you sort of have a limited telepathy with them. So like, it forms a link between you and the person you switch with, so you can sort of read each other's minds.
Okay, so that
Limited.
That would be more of an extra feature, but I'm fine with that.
It sounds like a price to me.
I mean,
I think it could be a price in certain.
depends on who you switch with, I guess. So that person that you switched with probably knows where you're at.
There could be some additional price that's related to the fact that you
like
swap.
that. The person that you switched with is probably more able to find you.
Yes.
They probably know what you're thinking.
Yes.
I would say what was different in that case is that it does not go both ways. It's the person that you switched with knows because you did a thing to them.
Yeah. Okay, I like that as a price.
Okay,
That's good.
yeah, no, I like that.
Okay.
All right.
That was I wanted to
Take
use that
So
your
we need to
identity
be
and
very
they take your
careful.
privacy.
Yes.
Who gives this coin to the other?
Yes.
Yes.
Because the
But
price
you're gonna
is-
have to give that coin to anyone, so
Yes.
it's going to be
I mean,
your whoever you give this
technically,
to.
But if I guess it's...
But no one can take this from you
at
without
this
you.
point, it's basically bound to me. Is
Yeah,
what I'm getting.
That's what
Basically.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Until you pass it along to someone else.
And Horus is not affected in that at all.
She wasn't when she gave it to him.
She wasn't. Oh yeah, that's fair.
Because she handed you the coin
and
you
we didn't
switch.
switch periods. But it was a price. There was a price to it.
To get the coin in the first place.
That was her own personal.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you this artifact.
We'll get to why Horus might not be affected. The same way you mere mortals are.
I just love her so much. That's all.
Horus might be an actual god. So anyway, so that is what you get from that. And I think that
Yes.
probably takes a couple of minutes. So at this point, we're advancing. Stagehand comes back, looks over at the bear. Oh, I was wondering where you were at. Vicky said that you were asking some questions.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, let's walk, let's talk. We're on a schedule here. And so he starts leading you out and down the hallway, kind of around towards the stage side. As you're going, are there questions you want to ask this helpful bro cycle?
Bro cycle.
That's what Todd Roman rides.
The bro cycle.
The bro cycle.
To the bro cycle.
That's too perfect.
1-800-Todd.
So yeah, I want to ask this particular guy why there's so many cops.
Yeah, you weren't there when I filled in the rest of your group. So Mayor Dow is here. There's a new wing being added on to a new children's wing being added on to the hospital. So she's here, as well as some really rich kid. I think his name is Eric. They're going to be kind of like sponsoring both that and this concert. So just a little bit of extra security for that.
So they're here to protect the alpha human.
I guess if you want to put it that way, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And at that point, you can see the stage coming into sight, and you're heading around towards the side of it. It is set up with huge, actual living trees. There's ferns everywhere. There is foliage that has been trained to grow up the sides of the stage, which you know is a very recent, like probably today thing, which means Evergreen probably did that himself.
He's so involved.
From what you know, yeah, he is very involved in his stage show. And you can kind of see a little group of people stage right, which is where you were swiftly heading, including the form of Mayor Dow in a very fancy purple, like floral kind of suit with like a big neck piece that's very, like floral in nature. She's dressed to match the set. And standing next to her in a charcoal black suit is Eric Infernus, who kind of looks over and sees your group coming. I assume William probably has his hood up at this point.
Oh, yeah.
But you can tell that he notices that there's a bear there.
And
A plant person.
Bears kind of stand out.
And a French
That's
mime.
And a very bright plant
valid
person.
point.
So he sees you. He hasn't made any moves, but he definitely notices that you're on your way. You're a little bit out. What do?
I've got to go to the bathroom.
Would that be considered running?
You know what? That's a fun panel to end on. So we will pause there, and we will see you next issue.
Masks: A New Generation is written for Magpie Games by Brendan Conway. It is made of mushrooms, mayhem, and mimes. Give it your dollars, it is well worth them. The Baroness is played by Christina. Piero is played by Lenny. You can find her on Instagram at catfood. William Infernus is played by Jordan. Darren is played by Nan. Find her on Instagram at Nanjitsu. Apex City is jammed by Jeremy, who also writes the music and edits this podcast. Our album art was provided by Ash Brandt. Find them on Twitter at CinderBrandt or Instagram at Brandt.ash and on Tumblr at Kimmins. Find us on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, or whatever fine podcasts are sold. Follow us on Twitter at Apex City Cast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next issue.